We're YouTubers, and that means when we go on a camping trip, we need reliable internet service.
That sounds really weird, doesn't it? Like, hey, we're going camping, but we need internet. Isn't the whole idea of camping to actually get away from the internet?
Off the grid.
Well, here's the thing. We don't just have this channel, Two Crazy Campers, but we also have another channel called Two Crazy Ketos, and that channel is completely dedicated to the keto lifestyle and how we each lost over 100 pounds. So when we go on the road, we're not just filming videos. We're also going out there and we're live streaming, we're uploading videos, we're answering comments. So it's really important to us that we have reliable internet. And in today's video, we're going to show you our entire internet system and how we make sure that we're always able to get something in order to upload videos and download things and everything else.
Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
Two Crazy Campers. After losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds,
we realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So we're not really on an adventure day because we're going to talk about internet, and that really doesn't have much to do with the outdoors. But internet is really important for us, not just for our YouTube channel, but you know, sometimes, hey, we're in Florida, you get trapped in the RV or maybe late at night and you want to stream a movie, and you know, you need to have internet for that.
In the past, we tried to just use our phones as a hotspot, but we found that we were just eating up data and really fighting over what was the internet priority.
Yeah, because we have T-Mobile for our phone and we actually get really, really good service. But the plan that we had when we first got started with having to have internet in the rig only gave us 5 gigabits of tethering per phone. And we were finding we could use that in one night. I mean, we actually downloaded one movie and we were done. And then the next day we had to upload a video to our YouTube channel.
Sorry.
And that one was gone. And now we had to have the whole rest of the weekend where we were getting charged or weren't able to tether stuff. Or even worse, they were throttling us to the point where it was pretty much useless. So what we did for that was we decided to go out and get one of these hotspots with T-Mobile. And this hotspot is really good. We actually got really lucky and we were able to get their plan when they came out with this new device. And it was allowing us to have 100 gigabits for just $50 a month. And that works out really well. It's plenty for a weekend warrior. Not so much if you're a full-timer. But if you're a weekend warrior and you're going to go out, even if you go out like for 2 or 3 days, you know, every week or every other week, 100 gigabits should get you through unless you're doing a tremendous amount of live streaming or you're downloading a whole bunch of 4K movies. And what we do for that is we actually just try to do only like SD movies, download in a little bit like lower quality.
Yeah.
The problem with having this with T-Mobile is, what do you do when you get to an area where you don't have good T-Mobile service?
You need another service.
So what we ended up doing was getting another device, and this device is through Verizon Wireless. And we actually don't have Verizon Wireless. You can still get one of these hotspot devices with internet, but if you don't have Verizon, it's going to cost you. I believe it was going to cost us like $90 a month. So at that point, we decided, let's turn to my sister who does have Verizon, and we pay her to add this on for just $30 a month. So now we can have internet through Verizon.
Family plans.
So we have now T-Mobile and we have Verizon. And we try to always go with this one because this one's a little bit faster and this one has a little bit less data on it. So I think you get like 30 gigabits and then they start throttling you down, whereas this one gives you 100. The problem that we had then, and we've gone out on extended trips and we were starting to run out. We're like, now what do we do? And we actually got to a couple of parks where Verizon wasn't any good.
And no T-Mobile.
And T-Mobile wasn't any good.
Now what?
So now what do you do? And again, remember, we need internet to upload movies, to live stream. Every Monday, we actually have a show over on our Keto channel where, you know, we have to be in there and we do a premiere, so we're doing live chat. So that's really important that we're getting that video. So we turned to AT&T via Cricket. And we bought one of these devices from Netgear. We actually got this on Amazon. I'll leave a link for it down below. And we ran over to Cricket. You got one of those little cards. And Cricket has some really good plans. And what's nice about Cricket is if you don't have... It is all AT&T. Mm-hmm. But what's nice about the Cricket plan is you can turn it off and on every month.
Which
it's
is
not
really nice.
a plan like where you have to have this plan every month.
You're committed.
Yeah, you're not committed to it, and you can either have like a 30 gigabit, a 50 gigabit, or a 100 gigabit plan. And so we now have 100 gigabits on AT&T, we have 100 gigabits on T-Mobile, and we have 30 gigabits on Verizon. So that should be plenty of internet for us as weekend warriors, right?
We should have all of our bases covered, but alas, we do not.
No, we don't, because we started taking longer trips. We started doing more live streaming. We started kind of getting lazy with, hey, we can't do this. We need to have the internet. And 1 month, we filled out all the plans by the second trip of the month. So now we had nothing.
Now what?
So what we ended up doing is turning to a company called Travel Data.
So glad we did.
And we're really excited. Now, I do want to let you know that we actually contacted Travel Data and said we are very interested in this. We would like to, go ahead and try it out and maybe do a video. So they did send us a unit and said that they would give us a unit and they would give us 1 month for free to go ahead and try it out. So I just want to have full disclosure on that. And I have to tell you, we are super impressed by this.
When they said it was unlimited,
not just unlimited, unthrottled.
We put that statement to the test. They don't know us.
No. Now, a little bit about Travel Data. Travel Data is using the T-Mobile network, and they give you 2 different options when it comes to what type of a device you're going to have. So they don't use this device here, and they don't use this device. They have one like this, which actually gets plugged in, and it has these 2 antennas, and I'm going to show you why I don't have the antennas attached in a minute. And this is basically like your traditional router that you would have in your house, almost like a cable modem.
Yeah.
So you're just going to simply plug this into power on the wall, and what I did was, because I want to make sure I have internet even if I don't have shore power, you can buy an adapter which will allow you to run this on 12 volt. And I will leave a link for that down below. So I have this just hardwired into 12 volt, on the RV. But if you don't want one of these, you can get a device similar to this where it's just a mobile hotspot, it runs off a battery, and you can take it everywhere. What's really nice about both of them is they will put out a Wi-Fi signal. So you're gonna have this and it's gonna put out a Wi-Fi signal. The reason I like this one better than the one they have like this is it does have Ethernet jacks on the back. Because what we did was we also went out and we bought a Wi-Fi Ranger, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And the Wi-Fi Ranger allows us to take whatever internet service we're using and give us one internet like Wi-Fi. So we have our Wi-Fi name. No matter which company we're using, we get to hook into one Wi-Fi name. And it makes it so much easier because Rachel would come to me like, okay, which one are we using?
Right. This one, 2.0, 4.0, FBI surveillance van. Like, we get funny with it.
So what the Wi-Fi Ranger allows us to do is you can hardwire this one in, and then it will also pick up other Wi-Fi. So you can have these broadcasting Wi-Fi, and you just tell it which one you want to use on the Wi-Fi Ranger, and now you're just using the Wi-Fi Ranger Wi-Fi name, wherever you are. Because the problem with these other ones is this Netgear is pretty nice because it does have a port on the back for an Ethernet. And also, this one allows you to have an external antenna. So if you're in an area where you don't have really good signal, you can stick this up in the window, and it really does boost the signal. These don't have that. So this one is totally relying on internal antennas, and we kind of put it up in the window sometimes to maybe get better signal. But again, we were running into the problem with, not having, enough data. So getting back to the Travel Data, they offer 2 plans. And this is where my socks were just blown off.
Right. Because
the first plan is $55 a month for unlimited, unthrottled internet. $55. I mean, all of these. Verizon's only costing me $30 because we have it through my sister.
Exactly.
The T-Mobile is costing us $55 a month, and then you get $5 off if you auto pay. But again, we only get 100 gigabits. And then the AT&T is costing us like $50 plus tax. And again, you only get 100 gigabits. So now you can get unlimited for just $55 a month. So I thought that was a great deal.
Well, I love the fact that it's not just normal people unlimited, it's Two Crazy Campers unlimited.
Yes. Now, that is for an SD quality video. If you want to stream stuff in high definition, they have a little bit higher plan, and that is just $78 a month. So now instead of going in standard definition, you can have high definition, but it is still unlimited and unthrottled.
And I feel like that's still a super reasonable amount of money. I mean, compared to all of the other things that we're paying for.
Well, when you figure the other ones, we're paying about $140 a month for the other ones, and we still, with those, are only getting 230 gigabits a month in download, and here for $78, we're getting unlimited unthrottled. But I know you're wondering, is it really unlimited unthrottled? Well, we decided to put it through the test. Now, the thing is, we're not full-timers. So that means we're not going to use as much internet as somebody as a full-timer, but I know there's a lot of full-timers who actually are watching our channel and subscribe to us, and we wanted to really make sure this was a good value for you guys before we recommended it. So we hooked this thing up in our house.
Yeah, we brought it inside, and you won't believe how much we use inside our home.
I streamed it through our Wi-Fi Ranger. I had the kids playing video games hooked up to it, and we actually had one day where we had no internet in the house for 2 days, so we had to use it as a backup. And in 1 month, we went through almost 600 gigabits, and it never got slowed down. We never had any issues. It worked really well, and I am really, really happy with having the travel data.
I don't think anybody is going to have that amount of usage, even if you're a full-time RVer. Like, no one is going to touch that. But, like, yeah, I was just glad to see that it actually did it.
Now, there are a couple things that you need to know about when you use travel data. Travel data has to use specific router/modem. So you have to get this one here, or the other one they have that's like the portable device. Now you can bring your own. If you already have one, you can simply call them up and you're going to buy a new SIM card and then put your SIM card in and they help you activate everything. But if you don't have one, it's not like you can take their SIM card and go stick it in this device.
No.
It's got to be one of these two devices. So what you do is you just purchase the device from them and they give you the SIM card and everything. There's a link for that down below. And also if you use our coupon and our link, that's going to get you some money off of that device. So definitely a great way to save a little bit of money. But once you get it, it's super easy to set up. It allows you to change the Wi-Fi name and the Wi-Fi password. Everything originally is right here on the back and you're good to go. So let's do this. Let's quickly take them around and let them see what our entire setup is. Then we'll come back and we'll let you know what we're doing as far as which company are we using, which company are we staying with. Okay, let's start off with the travel data. Like I said, we took off these antennas because what's really cool about this unit for the travel data, because it actually is a unit you would plug in, it's got these removable antennas and you can put an external antenna, which we have mounted up on the roof. And I have those two wires running down the roof through my box and they're right here. So what I did was just put those on here. And again, this is not mandatory, but when you have it like this, I'm getting an outside signal instead of an inside signal. Then I was able to order this rack right here, and I'll leave a link for this rack down below. And what this does is allows me to just put this up here. Now this is mounted. Then I have an Ethernet cable here that I can just plug in. It's easier if I take this out to put it in. So we plug the Ethernet cable in, which is going to go to our main router, and then I have a power cord which is wired into our main battery. So now here is our travel data, and it just sits here the entire time. We never have to worry about it. And it's putting out a signal, but we don't ever use that signal because it is hardwired through Ethernet cable into this back here. And that is the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is a regular router, which is now also hardwired into our 12 volt. So with this, you can see on the back, it's got some areas to have some Ethernet cables if you want to hardwire maybe your computer or something like that. Here's the Ethernet coming from the travel data, and then here's your power cord, and then this is emitting our regular Wi-Fi signal, which allows us to connect all of our computers, our phones, and everything like that. So that's how we have everything set up here in the rig so that we can get Wi-Fi for our phones, our computers, and everything else.
Now, why do we still need the Wi-Fi Ranger if all of these things are putting out signals?
Because if you don't have the Wi-Fi Ranger, basically what you're doing is, let's say we want to use the T-Mobile.
Okay.
Or, through travel data. And we're in an area, that's great. That's going to have its own Wi-Fi name. Mm-hmm. Now let's say we go to an area that doesn't have good service for T-Mobile and we need to switch to AT&T.
Right.
Well, this is going to have a different name. So now what's going to happen is you're going to have to go to every one of your devices.
Man.
Our Apple TV, we actually do have an Alexa here in the, RV. Everything that is currently using your Wi-Fi, you're going to have to go change what you're connecting to on everything. It's easy on the phone because it just connects to whatever. But other devices like your Apple TV, our, Roku, our Echo, that stuff all is already programmed to only use one name, and you're going to have to go reprogram everything.
Oh my goodness. If you're a full-timer, that would be such a pain in the butt.
It's a really pain. So by having the Wi-Fi Ranger, what it allows you to do is you have one Wi-Fi name. So for example, you can say Two Crazy Campers. Now you simply go into that, and since the travel data is hardwired, it's always going to try to use that first.
Okay.
But let's say we get to an area that we don't have good travel data service, and we need to use, for example, the Verizon. As soon as I turn on this Verizon, the Wi-Fi Ranger is going to go, okay, this one's not working. Let me use this one. And it's going to pick up this signal and then rebroadcast it under the Two Crazy Campers Wi-Fi name. So nothing has to change. You don't have to go reprogram everything.
Totally seamless.
Everything works perfect that way. So that's why we have it that way.
So my next question is, which one of these services are we keeping and which ones are we letting go of?
So for now, I'm actually keeping them all.
All of them.
I'm keeping them all. I'm debating on getting rid of our regular T-Mobile hotspot, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I need all of them. But what we're doing is primarily using travel data because it's unlimited. I don't have to sit here and go, oh, we can't stream in 720. Oh, we can't download a movie because we're almost out of internet. Travel data's got it covered. Everything is completely unlimited and unthrottled. But every once in a while, we are still getting to campgrounds that doesn't have great service. I mean,
like
here in Florida, here in Florida, a lot of the campgrounds have good T-Mobile. If you watch any of our campground review videos, we always tell you which ones have the best service because we turn every device on when we get there and see who's got the best service. Most of the time, it is T-Mobile. But recently, we were up at Kelly Park in Apopka, Florida. Horrible Verizon, horrible T-Mobile, but the AT&T was working.
So, I mean, we just need the service.
Yeah, but what makes the AT&T through Cricket good is we can turn this one off and on. For example, this month, we're not doing a whole lot of camping because we're doing a bunch of other traveling. We've had one camping trip. Now we're traveling out to Utah. So I don't really need this. So I simply turned it off for the month. So that's saving me $50 there. Then we have the travel data, which we're just going to keep for every month. And then we do have the Verizon, which is on my sister's phone bill, and that's just costing us $30 a month. So if I have the travel data at $78 and I have the Verizon at $30, I'm at $108. I'm good with that to have unlimited and know two are covered. And then when we need the Cricket, we can turn it on. So a lot of things we can do is just roll up to a campground. There's no Verizon. There's no, really good T-Mobile. Let's just turn this device on and see what kind of signal it's getting. Oh, it's getting good signal. Let's just go activate for the month.
Well, and for us to see so much variation in service in just one state,
right.
I can't imagine what the differences are when you're traveling from state to state.
Yeah. Now, as far as our Verizon hotspot, this one I'm debating. I really like the travel data. I want to make sure we have good service, but every once in a while you need something, and I want something really portable. Like, again, we had recently where there was no internet in the house. We were actually out in the RV. The kids didn't have everything, so we were able to leave them one of these. But the plan that we have on here, it's a limited plan.
Yeah.
It's 100 gigabits for $50, and that price isn't going to stick around. And I kind of want to keep it just because, we're grandfathered in.
Right.
So my luck, we'll get rid of it, we'll need it, and now that plan's like $150 a month.
You don't want to risk it.
So I'm debating back and forth. Let us know down in the comment section. Do you think I should get rid of the T-Mobile?
What do you think?
Just stick with travel data, or should I just kind of keep it as a backup, chalk it up, and say, yeah, you know what? It's a tax write-off.
It's the cost of doing business.
Now, in addition to all of this, we do still have our booster, which is up on the roof. Now the booster doesn't really help with the travel data, but it does help with these other things. But that is really for an absolute emergency. We get to an area where there's just like almost no service, like maybe one bar, and we will flip on our WeBoost and put one of these right in front of the antenna, and that'll at least give us some signal to maybe, you know, check text messages, maybe download a movie, but usually there's like no live streaming or anything like that when you're having to use the WeBoost. But that's our entire internet setup, and we've been doing it this way for about 2 months now. Again, super happy with travel data. I'm super happy with the way our whole setup, and we now have not been on a camping trip where we haven't been able to live stream, where we haven't been able to download good movies. We've actually watched some really good movies late at night. There's been absolutely no issues and everything is working. So let us know down in the comment section, what kind of internet setup do you have? What company are you using? Have you tried any of these companies? You know, what is your solution for internet? Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Hit that like button down below because it really does help build the channel. But it also lets us know what kind of content you guys are looking for. And while you're down there, please do us a favor. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time,
happy camping!